Alright, so I'm going to do game 2 of the Northern Warlords GT that was like nearly 3 weeks ago now, but you know, life gets in the way and all that. So this is game 2, and I'm going to apologise in advance because I've been back through the pictures of this battle report and it's scarce. And I was trying to think to myself, like, why did I take so few pictures and miss out big chunks of the game here and there? And then I remembered it's because like me and my opponent were like crunking it up pretty bad. Like this game was just after lunch, so like 1 o'clock. My opponent had been through like 10 or 11 pints. I was at like 6 or 7 plus some shots that I bought on a whim because someone, you know, wafted them under my nose, so I bought some shots. Yeah, so it was a pretty heavy lunchtime, and we were both pretty crunked. So that's why there's very few pictures for this game, because we were just having such a good time, and we were both just drinking pretty heavily. So there's a little bit of disclaimer to start, but these are the spells rolled up. So the level 2 has Spinemauer and Bullgorger. Level 4 got Ice Blizzard, Uranus Thunderbolt, Comet of Cassandora, and Harmonic Convergence. So pretty much the perfect 4, or the perfect 3, and then 1. I always say with Heavens, you want Ice Shard, Comet, Harmonic, and then your 4th spell on your level 4 is kind of matchup dependent, but Thunderbolt's pretty good in this matchup. Going to the deployment then, we got Battle for the Pass again. So on my left hand side, I've got 8 Bulls with the BSB and the Butcher. That grey rock there is impassable terrain, so that's why it's kind of split on my lines a little bit. Bottom left corner, we've got an Iron Blaster with a cat 6 inches away behind. And in the centre of the table there, I have 7 Iron Guts with the Slaughtermaster. And look at this for a blue photo, so this just highlights my drunkenness on this game. This is the only bad picture though, so just bear with me. You've got the 2 units of 6 lead belchers, bottom right is another lead belcher with the cats behind 6 inches away from everything like normal, and the Gorger on the hills waiting to come on. Picture. My opponent's deployment then, we'll go right, sort of top right to bottom left. So he has a unit of 40 slaves in horde formation, which I've like never seen ever. It was the most bizarre thing I think I've ever seen. In the centre of the table there is a unit of 8 rat ogres with Throt the Unclean and a bunch of other little handler characters in there. That was like his mini Death Star, but they're actually really terrifying for ogres. Like the front rank alone has like 4 or 5 strength 5 attacks, initiative 4. Like any of my units go into that unit and it rips me apart. So I was probably the only army on the day scared of that unit. I did not want to go anywhere near it. Just next to them on the left is another unit of 40 slaves in horde formation. In there is his BSB, and the little Mickey Mouse model is his level 4. Where they are is where they are in the unit. It just didn't put them into the unit yet. Scouting forward is 3 units of 5 gutter runners with the poison slings. Way in the back, and I have no idea why he put them so far back. He had his 2 Hell Pit Abominations. So there's one just to the right of the house, and there's one just by my Jägermeister tin. So I was really happy to see them way back there. I don't know why they were back there, but they were. In the middle there's a warp lightning cannon to the left of the little house, and in the woods to the bottom left is a unit of Giselles, and there's another unit of Giselles in the little house, and that was his deployment. So my opponent wins the roll off, and he kind of just pushes everything forward. Or this might not even, yeah, he has moved up because the Hell Pits have moved, the slaves have moved forward a little bit, the rat ogres have moved forward. I think this was before he moved his gutter runners though. Like I say, I was pretty well drunk at this point. In the shooting phase, Warp Lightning Cannon puts 2 wounds on the Iron Blaster, but doesn't kill it, which is really important because now I at least get to have a few shots back. And I kind of learned a little bit of a lesson this tournament, is putting the Iron Blasters way back in the back corner is a bit of a mistake because they are only 36 inches, and quite often on turn 1 I was out of range to shoot things I wanted to shoot on turn 1. So I've learned that now post tournament, but you'll see me continue to do so throughout this tournament. So not much else happens in Skaven turn, all the magic he wanted to cast was out of range, so he just didn't bother. And this is how I respond. I think I've taken a wound on the Iron Guts there, or that might be my Grut Sickle. I am not sure. So I just kind of push forward, really push forward aggressively with the Ogres down in the bottom of the picture, and it looks like he actually, I think he might have actually forgotten to move his Gutter Runners. Like I say, we were both pretty well crunked at this point. Everything just shuffles around on the right there, because I don't want to get too close to those Rat Ogres. I really want to keep them at arm's length. But the bulls down here at the bottom have got almost a free rein to push forward a lot more aggressively. In the magic phase, I go ahead and do a Thunderbolt into this unit of Gutter Runners, kill 4 out of the 5. The 1 flees and stops right in front of his unit there. So I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but obviously I'd like to kill all 5, but it's only a D6 magic missile, so I can't get too greedy. I did kill 4 out of the 5, which is good. And then in the shooting phase, the Iron Blaster misfires and blows itself up. Always appreciated. So this is sort of a bit more of my turn 2 and the Skaven turn 2. Not much happens in Skaven turn 2. I think the Warp Lightning Cannon either misses or it doesn't wound. Yeah, I think it rolls strength 2 and then doesn't wound. It did actually in turn 1 roll strength 2, but then rolled a 6 to wound, you know, like Skaven does. But this turn, strength 2, didn't get the 6, which was fortunate. Help It's trundle forward a little bit more. Again, I was happy they were so far back. I just, without a Fire Belly in this Ogre list, I've really got nothing to deal with the Help It's. Really terrifying. Nothing else really happens again. Magic is pretty, I think he casts like a Warp Lightning onto my Iron Guts, which kills a guy. Nothing else really happens. I think he might get a Scorch off as well on the bulls. That's why there's a guy missing there. Essentially just wanted to make me panic off the board, but a leadership 8 with the reroll, I managed to stick it out, which is good. So into Ogre turn 2, the top of the picture there, I managed to charge my Lead Belchers around the front unit of Gutter Runners into the unit at the back, which proves out to be a pretty stupid idea really. I'm not too sure why I did that, but again, I was drinking pretty heavily. The magic phase, and probably magic and shooting combined, I finish off the Gutter Runners that were in the forest there. I've put Spine Mauer up on this unit down at the bottom just in case anything weird happens. I think the Rat Ogres need a 10 or an 11 to charge me. So just in case something weird happens, I've got Spine Mauer up and I have Convergence up on the Lead Belchers, which help me finish off the Gutter Runners. And the Iron Blaster puts a single wound onto the Helpit. In combat then, because of the way we lined up, I do some wounds and impact hits. It ends up fighting with 2 Gutter Runners fighting against 2 Ogres. I only kill like 3 guys with my impact hits and with my attacks, and then I try and capture him, he gets away, and then I overrun into this horde of slaves, which in itself isn't necessarily scary, but there's a Helpit there that's going to crash into my flank. Which is what he does. So again, I've kind of missed out all of the pictures of Skaven turn 3 because I was trying horribly not to die too quickly. The Helpit went into the flank of the Lead Belchers and killed them, cleaned them up pretty nicely, and then he just reformed as such. The Rat Ogres passed their frenzy test and choose not to charge, or maybe they actually, I think they did. I think they tried to charge my Iron Guts, needed a 12 and missed it, so they fell charge to there. The Helpit moves up at the back. Again, I think he casts a Warp Lightning onto my Iron Guts, kills another one, but nothing else really happens. I think the Warp Lightning Cannon finishes off my my Iron Blaster because it doesn't seem to be in the top right of this picture. Then into Ogre turn 3, you'll notice the big thing that's happened is the bulls have got charged into his bunker. I needed a 9, and my opponent Sai really debated for a long time whether to flee or just to hold and hope that I fail it. And the reason why he didn't flee is if you look just in the flank of that horde of slaves, there's a Gorger, and if he would have fled, my Gorger really didn't need a lot to run him down. So he chose to hold, hoping that I'd fail it, and I rolled a 9, which is just going to be huge. Gorger in the flank as well to add some more attacks, some more damage. And yeah, I'm just going to absolutely batter that unit and hopefully break it, kill his BSB, kill his level 4, and then I'm really up in his face. The trouble is, if I do break this unit, I'm going to have to run it down to try and kill it and get the points, and then I'm going to have a help hit in the flank. So it's a sort of Pyrrhic victory at this point. So that is what happens going to the combat phase, and I quite easily just delete the units gone. There wasn't hardly anything left to break anyway. Break, run it down, actually run really far, but it's not going to be far enough. I'm going to need a miracle for that help it to fall short. And the Gorges, they're just behind the tree. You can just see his arm sticking up behind the tree. Something has made the Giselles panic. I think I killed one from somewhere, maybe magic missile or something, but something's made them panic. They're fleeing. The gutter runners at the top of the picture, they continue to flee. The one gutter runner that was fleeing from the earlier Thunderbolt gets run down in this whole mess as well, and just ends up like this going into Skaven turn 4. And that's just a picture of where everything's sort of ended up, so I can clean up that warp lightning cannon, maybe get the Giselles in the building, but I'm gonna have to deal with a help hit in a minute. Skaven turn 4, he doesn't charge, he just pushes him right up into my face, knowing now that I'm probably gonna have to charge him, or he's gonna charge me next turn, which isn't a great place to be, because I really don't want to fight combat with that unit. So Ogre turn 4, so again missed a lot of Skaven turn 4. The help it did crash into my flank. I moved over the BSB was already there. I moved over the Bruiser to soak up some wounds, because they're to keep the unit alive. And what happens is basically he kills the Bruiser, and the BSB just doesn't do anything. I'm strength 7, I have a great weapon, and I just can't do anything. He makes like I think I hit with all 4 and wound with all 4 attacks, and then he just makes all 4 regens, like not even a problem, which is really frustrating. But then I do pass the test to reform to face, because I was steadfast. Ogre turn 4, the Gorger goes into the flank of the warp lightning cannon, and I go ahead and throw up my Saber Cat, which is still alive and lurking around the hill, to redirect the frenzied Rat Ogres away for the rest of the game, because he's going to have to charge me turn 5, he's going to overrun, then turn 6 he's going to have to turn around. So this 21 point Saber Tusker just saved me all these points. Saber Tusker are amazing, they're so amazing. So, again, just miss out so much of this turn. I really need to not drink so heavily during the tournament again. But basically what happens in my magic phase, I drop a comet right behind the Rat Ogre unit, which you'll see in the next few pictures, and I do actually do a pretty decent number shooting them with the lead belchers. I think they have harmonic convergence as well, because he has no level 4 now. So I actually do a pretty decent number whittling down the Rat Ogres. Gorger quite predictably kills the warp lightning cannon, and in combat my bulls and the BSB actually managed to break the help it, and he runs quite far away. So hopefully it'll run off the board. The problem is this is my turn. It would have loved to this happen on his turn, so I could then charge it and push it off the board. But that's not to be. Skaven turn 5, the other help it goes into the rear of my unit, kills some bulls. I do some wounds back. I'm on a break test on something really low, but I managed to pass with the BSB, so sticking around. But I've got another round of combat to kill this help it, or I'm going to be fighting 2 help it's, which it's just gonna hurt. The BSB can do some work, but he can't do that much work. Gorge goes into the building just to stop the Giselles going back into the building. So this is a picture then again of this sort of magic shooting phase. I'm just whittling down these Rat Ogres. They've charged into the Saber Tusk and overran. You see a fair few missing because they were hit with a comet and thunderbolts and shooting, and all my magic and shooting is going to whittling down this unit, because this is just so many points in this unit. I need to get the points out of it. Over turn 5 then I put another comet down, do some more damage. Again, I think I hit them with a decent thunderbolt. So there's only 3 Rat Ogres left now, plus the handlers. and I've only got one more turn left to do the damage. However, there is a comet there that's going to come down and do some decent work for me. Which is what happens. The comet comes down and kills 2 more of the rat ogres, kills some more of the handlers, and now I can, realistically think about wiping this unit. So this is basically where the game ends. The Hell Pit finishes off my the rest of my unit, and the BSB gallantly tries to save the day, but he just doesn't. Basically, he beats the Hell Pit in combat, but then the other Hell Pit comes in and he can't fight both of them off, and they both die. And at the other end of the board, I do manage to finish off the Rat Ogres, get all the points for the Rat Ogres, for Throt the Unclean, for his other character that was in there. I've got his level 4, his BSB, his War Winding Cannon. Basically all I had left was 2 Hell Pits and his Horde of Slaves, which isn't a lot of points. I had my Slaughtermaster left, my Iron Guts left, some Lead Belchers left. I had quite a lot of points left on the table, and it was it wasn't a big win, but it was a win for the Ogres. So this game was played on like table 24 or something, because I mentioned in the last video how we got the result wrong. We put it in as a draw, and then at the end of this game I realised that I actually won the game. So we went back and changed it with the TOs. So you'll see me in the next game, I catapult from table like 24 up to table 6. Because my first game draw got amended to a win. So actually, at this point, I have 2 wins going into game 3, which is really good. And I'm really pleased with how the Ogres are performing so far. Considering I didn't play test the list at all, it's going quite well. So that's game 2. Apologies for the lack of photos. I was steaming drunk. I'm going to ensure it doesn't happen again, and the rest of the games are a lot more clear and succinct, with a lot more detailed photos. So don't worry about that. Thanks for watching as usual. Don't forget to drop your comments, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. Peace out, guys.